In recent years, an increasing number of teachers have been discussing the Blooket, and those who have used it consistently praise its effectiveness. They unanimously agree that Blooket is a highly effective tool for engaging students and improving learning outcomes. Why is Blooket so popular? People claim that because it's an interactive platform with customizable learning games and quizzes. There are a variety of game modes and themes. It can track student progress and performances. When conduct class activity with Blooket, students become very concentrate and exited. Classroom management becomes very easy. Students always ask for Play Blooket. It enhances classroom engagement. 3 years ago, when I first started using Blooket, I was also amazed by it and thought it was a highly engaging teaching tool. I actively introduced Blooket to all my colleagues around me. However, now after using it for 3 years, I can't help but ask, Blooket is really such a highly effective tool for engaging students and improving learning outcomes. Is that true? Let's take a look at its games, which are the pride and joy of Blooket and also its most popular feature. It's often compared to the similarly popular Kahoot, with many finding Blooket to be superior because students can actually play the games. In contrast to Kahoot's gamification, Blooket leans more towards game-based. In Blooket, students can indeed play various types of games, such as luck-based games like fishing or Gold Quest, or games that rely on quick reflexes and hand speed, such as Battle Royale. There are also strategic games, like Tower Defense, where students need to employ tactics to succeed. These games can indeed be quite captivating at the beginning, but over time, many students may lose interest. Why is that? I think here we need to figure out one thing. Can different types of games equate to different types of learning tasks or activities? In most of the games in Blooket, the mode revolves around earning coins by answering multiple choice questions correctly, which are then used to complete tasks within the game. Learning is not integrated into the gameplay but rather detached from it. Regardless of the game played, students only experience one type of learning task activity, which is essentially multiple choice questions. Therefore, it's natural for them to feel bored or even fed up after playing for a while. That's why, after 3 years of use, when I ask my students which game they want to play, no one responds, or only 1 or 2 say, "Teacher, whatever." Indeed, because regardless of the game, the learning tasks for them are just repeatedly answering multiple choice questions. Looking at it this way, can Blooket be considered as game-based learning? I don't think so. At most, it's a gamification tool with actual games added to it. So, can it really engage students in learning? Students may appear to be very enthusiastic about Blooket, but do they genuinely believe that this format is helpful for their learning? Or are they simply disinterested in listening to the teacher's lecture and just want to play games? If that's the case, then allowing students to play Blooket in class would indeed be a waste of time. Some people may argue that even playing educational games shouldn't be considered a complete waste of time, as these games cultivate students' spirit of teamwork, foster their competitive awareness, and teach them how to utilize strategies effectively, aligning with the MOE 21st Century Competencies teaching objectives. However, have you ever considered whether it's worthwhile for subject teachers to use valuable teaching time to develop other skills in students? In fact, every subject's classroom instruction inherently incorporates the cultivation of 21st century competencies to some extent. If necessary, I can certainly find more efficient ways to achieve 2 goals with 1 stone, allowing students to develop 21st century competency-related skills while effectively learning subject knowledge. Perhaps, some might argue that even if we don't view it as a game-based learning tool, Blooket has its own leaderboard, point system, timer, avatars, and awards, making it a qualified gamification tool. So, it should be able to engage students, right? Not necessarily. Let me share with you one of my teaching experiences. It was this particular class that led me to have a new perspective on Blooket. Last year, my school experimented with a new way of forming PLCs, allowing us to team up with colleagues from different departments. This gave me the opportunity to partner with an ART teacher to explore the application of drawing in teaching. We used a drawing website called Scribble, where teachers could set prompts, and students joining the class could take turns drawing based on these prompts while others guessed. Correct guesses earned points as rewards. So, I inputted vocabulary words from the textbook and had students draw based on their meanings, while others guessed. This round, it was the turn of a girl in my class to draw. She consistently ranked at the top in every Blooket game, so her enthusiasm was high. She drew something like this. We guessed for a long time this round, including myself, but no one got it right. So, I asked the girl, "Which word did you draw?" She said, "I drew
收藏."
I was curious because it had nothing to do with. She said, "Isn't
藏.
hide?" I drew a child hiding under the table. At that moment, it dawned on me. All her good scores in Blooket were just an illusion. Even though she consistently ranked at the top, she didn't actually understand the meanings of the words. This made me ponder a question. Does Blooket really require understanding the meanings to choose correctly? The answer is no. Let's play a game. Here are 4 words. Let's observe their characteristics. The first word has a letter with a cloud-like shape on top. The second word has a circle on top. The third word has letters that look like YYA. The fourth word has a letter that looks like 6. I don't know the answer to this question because I don't recognize any of them, just like our students in their mother tongue class. Then the system tells me the correct answer is the first one. So, I remember that the answer to this question is a word with cloud on top. Now, let's try the next question. Can you get it right? You got it right. But do you really know what this word is and how to use it? The answer is definitely a no. It's just like my students playing Blooket. They can choose the right answer without understanding, just by remembering the characteristics. Chan has the most strokes, and that's its characteristic. So, can playing Blooket really engage students? Can students really gain effective learning through playing Blooket? Now the question arises again. Some might argue that students do indeed exhibit increased focus and classroom management becomes easier when playing Blooket. Isn't this a manifestation of engagement? This raises another consideration. What exactly is engagement? Is it enough for students to be entertained, or should engagement teaching tools not only spark interest but also achieve learning outcomes to be considered effective? I choose the latter. After all, we apply these tools in the classroom, and our ultimate goal is to achieve teaching outcomes. Whether it's Blooket, Kahoot, or Quizzes, they are all meant to better achieve teaching objectives. Engagement without considering teaching outcomes is meaningless. Therefore, when selecting teaching tools, we should be critical. Blindly following trends doesn't truly aid teaching. We must choose tools that fit our teaching objectives and target audience and can bring about effective learning. These are the tools that genuinely engage students.